end. Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan for Algebra 1 Semester 2. How are you guys doing? So this is week 20, Wednesday, and we are going to be looking at the study guide number 2. This is actually our second day of the study guide. So I'm actually going to go back and modify and change that just a little bit. So hang on for that. Actually, I think this is like actually the third day. Yeah, never mind. Third day, just kidding. All right, so with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get started right here on number 5. And so number 5 looks like this. And what it's asking you guys to do right here is which one represents the domain. Domain, remember, is your x value of the function that is decreasing. If you think about decreasing, decreasing means you're going down a hill like this. And so if you look at this function, where is it decreasing on the x-axis? Well, on the x-axis, here's the x-axis right here. This part that I am highlighting right now in yellow, that's the decrease right here, okay? And then what I see here is -1, -2, -3. So x is equal to -3, but what part of the x? It's when the x is greater than -3, because at -3, left side is smaller than x and smaller than -3. On the right side, it's bigger than -3. So the highlighted yellow part is bigger than -3, so it's greater than -3. So your answer is C as in cat. Number 6, which one represents this graph? So with this one, it's easiest if you just go ahead and graph it yourself. Now remember that -2 means you go 2 down. The -3 means you go 3 to the right. The 1/2 means that it is going to be a wider V, and it's a positive, so you know it's going to be a happy face like that. So we're going to go 2 down, 3 to the 1, 2, 3 to the right, and it's going to be a wider V-shaped graph. So once you graph it, you just need to go ahead and match it. And you're like, which one does not match? Well, it doesn't match A, because A is on the left side here. It doesn't match C because it's on the left. Your vertex, which is this pointy part, is on the right side. And this pointy part right here is going to be at 3, -2. -2, just kidding. And so it's either going to be B or D. But then if you look at it, which one's wider, you guys? Because the 1/2 means that it's going to be wider. Why is it wider? Because 1/2 is smaller than 1. If it's smaller than 1, it's going to be wider. If it's bigger than 1, then it's going to be more compressed, which is skinnier. So the correct answer is D as in dog. And if you're like, this is not really making a lot of sense to me, I would highly suggest starting with week 18 Monday and go over all of the questions from study guide number 1, and then continue on with week 19 and 20 for study guide number 2. All right, so number 7. So this one is asking you, which of the following describe this equation correctly? Okay, so if I look at this equation, -3 is 3 units down. +2 means it's 2 units to the left. Negative means that it's upside down. But what upside down means is that, okay, so if a positive means like it's gonna be this way, a negative means you flip it over so it looks like the blue V shape. So really what this is, it's reflected about not the Y, but the x-axis, because that's an x-axis, right? So reflect about the x-axis. And then also that 4 right here, you guys, that 4 means A is greater than 1, which means it is going to be skinnier. Okay, so what words means skinnier? It would have to be if you think about it, it's going to be vertically stretched. So if you think about it, if it's stretched, doesn't that mean like it's skinnier, right? Because you're being pulled a little bit taller, right? So which one says that? Well, if I look at A, it says it's vertically compressed. Compressed means you make it a little bit shorter. So this is actually wider. So it's not A. Well, B also says it's vertically compressed. That's not true because it doesn't mean like it's gonna get skinnier. C is vertically stretched by 4. That is correct. D says vertically stretched by 4. They both says reflect over the x-axis, so it's either C or D. So now let's look at the numbers, okay? D says it's 3 to the left. Oh, that's not correct. And then 2 up. Well, that's not correct because it's 3 down and 2 to the left. So the correct answer is going to be C as in cat. So that's how you kind of like determine which one's the answer. I know when you initially look at this, you're like, there's a bunch of words in there. That looks really confusing. Don't be afraid of it, okay? You just have to make sure you read it correctly because you guys have the knowledge. You know how to do this. You just have to match it to the right answer. All right, for number 8, this is another one of those questions that we've been working with. This one says select all that applies. What that means, and that means there's more than 2 right answer, okay? So if you look at number 8, this one means that it's going to be 6 down. 3 means it's 3 to the left. Your vertex, which is your H and K, that's going to be your -3, -6. Axis of symmetry is just going to be your y value. And your y value is -6. So y equals -6. So then thinking about this, which one does it match? I would say that it definitely says the axis of symmetry is -6. So L is an answer. Okay. I also have my vertex is going to be -3, -6. So -3, -6 is one of the answers. So the only one that works in this situation is G as in girl and L as in love. Okay. So those are your 2 answers. You have one more, you guys. Okay. Number 9, which one's the one that represents this right here? First thing I noticed is that it's upside down, which means there has to be a negative. So it's not A because A has a positive, but it could be B because there's a negative, or it could be D because there's a negative, but not C. Next thing I notice is that my pointy part, my vertex here is at X is 8, Y is at 6. So what that means is that inside here, it's going to be X minus 8, X plus 6. Because remember, the inside has to be opposite. So you're like, which one matches this one? It would have to be B as in boy, because that's the only one that it matches. Okay, so we got to number 9. So we'll continue on with this tomorrow. And this will be it. If you guys are on Zoom, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time.